Today we're diving into how to have confidence and power in dealing with people by Les Giblin. Have you ever felt uneasy or unsure when talking to someone new? Do you wonder why some people seem to connect effortlessly while you hesitate? This book explores practical ways to boost your confidence, overcome social anxiety, and learn the art of dealing with people. Stay with us until the end to discover how you could influence others positively and build stronger, more successful relationships. Imagine this: you're at a gathering and you see people engaging comfortably, sharing laughs and building connections. Do you ever feel like you're on the sidelines, unsure of what to say or how to make that same connection? Here's the good news: anyone can become an excellent communicator. Confidence with people isn't an inborn trait, it's a skill you can master. In this book you'll find answers to questions like, what does it take to leave a memorable impression? How can you use the power of words to inspire action in others? And most importantly, how can better social skills open doors to both success and happiness? Giblin guides you through these questions with simple, actionable tips. If you've ever felt held back by shyness or self-doubt, this book could be your guide to breaking free from those limitations. It's designed to transform not only how others see you, but how you see yourself, empowering you to approach any conversation with confidence. So are you ready to step into a new version of yourself? Let's begin the journey toward mastering the art of connecting with others and opening up new paths to success and happiness. The common denominator of all success and happiness is other people. Have you ever thought about what success and happiness really mean for each person? The definition varies. My idea of success might be different from yours, and what brings me happiness could be unlike what brings you joy. But there's one thing that remains constant: we can't truly achieve success or happiness without the help of others. This doesn't mean we have to agree with everything others say or be in complete harmony with everyone around us. Take a look at the people you admire, the most successful ones. Have you noticed how they interact with others? Think of doctors, lawyers, public servants, politicians, teachers, scientists, and so on. Their success is heavily dependent on how well they connect with people, and the same holds true for us. No matter how smart, attractive, or wealthy we may be, we can't reach true success without positive relationships. There's an old saying, no man is an island. In other words, none of us is self-sufficient. We all need others to survive and thrive in today's world. Success is about more than just personal achievements. It's also about considering the needs of others. For example, doctors and lawyers can only solve problems when people trust them. Without that trust, doctors wouldn't have patients and lawyers wouldn't have clients. Their success and reputation depend on building strong, reliable relationships with others. Consider a saleswoman managing a store. Her ability to connect with customers is far more important than her looks or intelligence. If she knows how to make customers feel welcome and understood, they'll naturally want to buy from her, and her sales will grow on their own. In the end, we all desire success and happiness, and achieving both often depends on how we deal with people. It's our relationships and interactions that serve as the foundation for a fulfilling life. Being in good terms with yourself means being in good terms with others. Have you ever noticed how your interactions change when you're not feeling happy inside? When we're dissatisfied or frustrated, it often impacts how we behave with others. However, when we feel content and fulfilled, we naturally become kinder, more generous and more understanding. This is a basic human instinct by nature. We tend to look at after ourselves first, meeting our own needs before thinking about others. Sometimes this inclination can even morph into ego-driven behavior, shaping how we interact. Ego plays a central role in how we communicate with people. Every person has an ego, and human beings are naturally drawn to seek attention, approval, and respect. When we feel valued and respected, we can extend that positivity to others. However, if our own needs are unmet, it becomes difficult to offer kindness or happiness to those around us. One of the key skills in dealing with others is learning to acknowledge and respect their ego. If you can master the art of interacting thoughtfully, people will likely start seeing you in a more positive light. This shift in perception allows you to build trust and can open doors to new opportunities and favorable outcomes. A shocking story once appeared in the news. A man had strangled his wife simply because she fell asleep while he was talking to her. It's a disturbing example and of course completely inexcusable, yet if we dig deeper we see that his actions stemmed from his need for attention and importance which he felt were denied. His ego, deeply hurt by her lack of attention, drove him to an extreme reaction. Although he faced the consequences of his crime, it highlights the intense role that ego can play in our lives. When we talk to someone, we naturally want their full attention and respect, and when we don't receive it, it can hurt. If there's one crucial fact to understand about human nature, it's this: when it comes to ego, people can go to extreme lengths. Everyone desires respect and importance, and when these needs aren't met, our instinct is to protect our self-worth, often in ways that can surprise even us. Acknowledgement, appreciation, and gratitude are free. One of the quickest ways to build strong human connections is by acknowledging, appreciating, and expressing gratitude to those who help us. Everyone craves love, respect, and validation, and each person wants to feel valued in the eyes of others, so why not take a moment to show appreciation and respect? After all, kindness and gratitude cost nothing, and they bring joy not only to others but also to ourselves. When someone does something for you, give them your full attention. By doing so, you're not only making them feel important, but also reinforcing their sense of self-worth. Simple gestures like noticing their efforts, offering compliments, and focusing on their strengths rather than promoting yourself can make others feel truly valued. Consider this scenario: a businessman went to discuss a partnership deal with a lawyer. The meeting was scheduled for 3:00 p.m., but the lawyer was late. After waiting for about 10 minutes, the businessman left the office feeling insulted. Though he had no urgent tasks afterward, he felt disrespected, as if the lawyer didn't consider him important enough to be on time. The lawyer may have had legitimate reasons for his delay, but his actions left a negative impression, putting the partnership deal at risk. This story shows that even a brief 10-minute delay, though seemingly insignificant, can hurt someone's ego and permanently damage a relationship. Small gestures, or the lack thereof, can have a lasting impact on how people feel valued or disrespected. You can control the actions and attitudes of other people by how you act. When it comes to influencing others, people often feel uncomfortable or even resistant, but if we understand the laws of psychology, it becomes clear that in our interactions we're constantly affecting the people around us. Every time we speak or act, we're either influencing them positively or negatively. How we choose to approach this power is up to us. Our behavior largely shapes how others respond. Treat people kindly, and they'll often reciprocate with kindness. If we're rude or angry, chances are they'll respond the same way. It's like when we smile at someone, they instinctively smile back. This concept is the essence of influence. People mirror the emotions and attitudes we present to them. In other words, we can shape others' responses simply by expressing our emotions thoughtfully. Enthusiasm, for example, is contagious. Have you ever shared an idea with someone and hoped they'd match your excitement? Confidence works the same way. If you want others to feel confident in your ideas, you need to express them with confidence. When you believe in yourself, the world believes in you too. In a study conducted by the Speech Research Unit at Kenyon College on U.S. Navy behavior, researchers tested the impact of voice volume on telephone communication. They instructed speakers to deliver commands at varying loudness levels. When commands were given in a loud voice, the responses were also loud. However, when commands were given in a softer tone, responses came back in softer tones as well. This study highlights a fundamental human tendency: we mirror the way we're treated. Even over the phone, without any visual cues, people couldn't help but respond in a way that matched the speaker's tone. The research demonstrated that if someone shouts at us, our instinct is to shout back even if we don't see the other person. Just hearing their tone reveals their emotions. Our actions set the stage for how others will behave toward us. We have the power to guide their reactions simply by adjusting our approach. Those who choose their words carefully rarely provoke negative responses because they leave little room for conflict. If you want to appear approachable and friendly, start with a smile. If you want it to be taken seriously, adopt a tone that conveys Professionalism. A good first impression is everything the world sees you, the way you see yourself. People judge you not only by what you say but by everything you do, how you treat your job, your friends, and your relationships. Setting the right keynotes can help create a positive first impression, which is incredibly important. A first impression often sticks, especially for those who don't know you personally. People are constantly assessing you to decide how they should interact with you. If you want to be seen as serious, start a conversation on a serious note. If you'd like to come across as humorous, try opening with a joke, and if you're aiming for a casual vibe, use a friendly, informal tone. How you introduce yourself shapes the way others respond, so starting with intention makes all the difference. For instance, a woman once met a dentist who came across as angry and greedy, which left a lasting negative impression on her. What she didn't realize was that this encounter happened just after the dentist had a heated argument with his wife, and she overheard him shouting. Even though it was a one-time situation, that initial impression stuck with her, and her view of him remained negative ever since. This example shows how a single first impression can shape someone's entire view of another person. Every initial meeting sets the tone for future interactions. First impressions are powerful and often last a long time, so when meeting someone for the first time, it's essential to bring your best self forward. Once an image is set, it can be challenging to change. Acceptance, approval, and appreciation. Some people naturally attract others. They have a magnetic personality. If you ask them their secret, it often comes down to three things: acceptance, approval, and appreciation. These are fundamental desires within all of us. Acceptance means accepting others as they are, embracing their flaws and imperfection. Approval is recognizing and validating what you genuinely appreciate about them, and appreciation is about showing respect and understanding their worth. If you want to cultivate an attractive personality, these qualities are essential. Learning how to accept, approve of, and appreciate others will naturally draw people toward you, making them feel valued and eager to connect. A father once took his son to a psychologist, explaining that the boy was uncontrollable, mischievous, and seemed to have no redeeming qualities. When the psychologist first tried to talk to the child, he received a negative response, so he tried a different approach, finding something the boy enjoyed. He discovered that the boy loved wood carving and was actually quite skilled at it, often creating designs on the family furniture which his parents disliked and even punished him for. The psychologist gave the boy a piece of wood and some carving tools and offered him a few tips, aiming to channel his energy into something creative. Over the next few days, the boy's behavior improved noticeably. He began listening to his parents, keeping his room clean, and even showing a sense of responsibility. Surprised, his family asked him what had led to this positive change, and he simply replied, "I thought you'd like it." The story illustrates a powerful truth: we all crave attention and appreciation. The things we do often come with an expectation of approval from others, as this brings a sense of happiness and fulfillment. When people accept us and appreciate our efforts, it provides a deep sense of satisfaction and reinforces our sense of worth. Your outlook influences your reality. Sometimes our own fears keep us from connecting with others. Worrying that people won't like us or that they'll judge us makes us pull away, and in response, people start keeping their distance as well. If you approach someone with the mindset they probably won't like me, that fear often becomes reality. But if you reach out with a positive attitude, there's a good chance you'll have genuinely enjoyable conversation. When meeting someone, try thinking positively and greet them with a smile. They say a smile has a kind of magic. It can create a warm, inviting atmosphere that naturally draws people in. Brian was a shy, introverted guy who mostly kept to himself. When he joined college, he decided he wanted to make new friends. But at the freshman party, he faced a challenge. He needed to introduce himself to a girl he hadn't met before. However, the thought crossed his mind, what if she doesn't like me? With that worry, he held back and didn't approach her. Later that evening, Brian noticed that his roommate came back from the same party, but with new friends. Curious, Brian asked him what his secret was. His roommate simply replied, "Think positively and assume that others want to be friends with you too." This example shows how a positive Outlook can create a better reality. Sometimes all it takes is taking that first step with a friendly mindset, and you'll find people are often just as open and eager to connect, and we approach situations differently. We often discover that the world responds in our favor. Your words are powerful. One trait that successful people often share is the skill of using words effectively. The way you communicate with others, whether in business or personal settings, directly influences your success. Much of our happiness depends on how we express ourselves. The way we communicate our emotions, frustrations, desires, and expectations has a direct impact on our overall joy and fulfillment. Many people struggle to communicate effectively, especially with strangers. Sometimes we hold back our thoughts and ideas, not because we lack interesting things to say, but because we aren't sure how to say them. Small talk doesn't require brilliant insights. In fact, most conversations start casually without a specific reason. The key is simply to start. Another important element of being a great communicator is happy talk, keeping conversations light and positive. Avoid discussions that might hurt others or bring negativity. People enjoy being around those who are cheerful, while those who constantly talk about negative things often find themselves isolated. Remember, words are powerful, so use them to your advantage. When you learn to harness the power of words effectively, you open the door to a more successful and fulfilling life. To illustrate the power of words, here's a story. Bradley and his friends went to watch a boat race where a large crowd had already gathered. The group consisted of 4 men and a talkative woman. Bradley tried several times to ask the policeman to let them move to the front to get a better view, but each time the officer refused, saying it was too crowded and they couldn't allow anyone else in. Until some people left on the 3rd attempt, the woman in their group said, "Let me try this time." She approached the policeman, exchanged a few words, and signaled for her group to follow her to the front. Bradley was amazed when the police allowed them through. Curious, he asked her, "How did you do that?" She smiled and replied, "Oh, I didn't ask for permission to go to the front. I just asked the officer how he was doing and mentioned that handling such a large crowd must be challenging on a hot day." The officer responded, "Yes, it's tough." She continued the conversation, mentioning how she and her friends came to watch the race, but couldn't see anything from the back. The officer then suggested, "Why don't you watch from the front? The view is fantastic from there." This story highlights the power of the word "you." When you give someone the chance to talk about themselves, you may make them feel important, as if they're the center of attention. If used correctly, this approach can turn any situation in your favor. Listening to others is an art, and mastering it is essential to achieving what you want from your interactions. The art of listening. To improve our communication, we must also learn the art of listening. Listening offers us the chance to understand others deeply, moving beyond our own self-consciousness. Did you know that listening can be as powerful as speaking? When you balance talking and listening in a conversation, it builds confidence and establishes a stronger connection. Communication between two people is a form of give and take involving both parties equally. Imagine if both people only spoke about themselves without listening to the other. This type of interaction becomes dull and ineffective, offering little benefit to either side. Allowing others to express themselves shows intelligence, as it enables you to respond thoughtfully based on what they've shared. Conclusion: in this book you've learned that one of the most important things in life is to be on good terms with yourself. When you become a secure and happy person, you're naturally able to treat others with kindness and respect. You also discovered that adapting your actions to the situation can help you positively influence people. How you treat others is often reflected back to you. If you speak with kindness, you'll receive the same in return, but if you approach them with anger, it's likely you'll face anger in response. This book emphasizes the incredible power of words and the importance of using them thoughtfully. By mastering the art of communication, you can engage in meaningful and impactful conversations. No matter how brief, each interaction has the potential to create positive change in your life and in the lives of those you speak with. The art of listening, focusing on others' words, is just as powerful as speaking your own confidence and self-belief are crucial when dealing with others. We all have the ability to influence people. It's just a matter of learning how to use that power effectively. This book serves as an eye-opener, providing insights that encourage you to think deeply about your approach to relationships and communication. Remember, you possess far more potential than you may realize. Once you tap into it, you can become even better than you ever planned. So stay confident, stay positive, and embrace the power of connecting with others.